A masterpiece foie gras au torchon with a late harvest of Vidal sauce with dried and fresh figs.
Wonderful.
Mrs. Crawford, your husband introduced you as Bella. Are you an Isabel or an Hannibal?
I'm a Phyllis. Jack only calls me Phyllis when we disagree.
So, named Bella for your beauty.
We were both stationed in Italy. I was Army. She was NATO staff. All of the Italian men kept calling her Bella, Bella, Bella. Well, I wanted her to be my Bella. Cold foie gras with warm figs.
Yes.
Very nice.
Would I be a horrible guest if I skipped this course?
Too rich.
Too cruel.
Phyllis.
Jack.
First and worst sign of sociopathic behavior. Cruelty to animals.
That doesn't apply in the kitchen?
I have no taste for animal cruelty, which is why I employ an ethical butcher.
An ethical butcher. Be kind to animals and then eat them.
I'm afraid I insist on it. No need for unnecessary suffering. Human emotions are a gift from our animal ancestors. Cruelty is a gift humanity has given itself.
A gift that keeps on giving.
Your perfume is exquisite. Similar to the aroma on the air just after lightning strikes. Is it Jar?
That is some nose you have there, Doctor.
He really is quite charming, isn't he?
I first noticed my keen sense of smell when I was a young man. I was aware one of my teachers had stomach cancer even before he was.
Wow, that must have been some parlor trick.
For our next course, roasted pork shank. And I assure you, Bella, it was an especially supercilious pick.
Death makes angels of us all and gives us wings where we had shoulders, smooth as ravens' claws.
Robert Frost. Jim Morrison.
Even a drunk with the flair for the dramatic can convince himself he's God. Or the Lizard King.
God makes angels. Jesus was fond of fishermen. We're talking hardcore Judeo-Christian upsetting or just upsetting in general?
This is a very specific upsetting.
Increased serotonin in the wounds is much higher than the free histamine, so she lived for about 15 minutes after she was skinned.
Powder residue in the neck of the soda bottle shows vecuronium. Scotch and soda and a paralytic agent.
Kneeling in supplication at the feet of G-D.
Supplication is the most common form of prayer. Gimme, gimme, gimme.
They weren't praying to him. They were praying for him. He's afraid.
What is somebody who could do something like this afraid of?
It's in his vomit.
Dexamethasone.
That's used for patients with tumors.
Capra.
He was epileptic. Radiation?
Gamma-4.
Steroids for the inflammation, anticonvulsants for the seizures, radiation for the chemotherapy. Our guy has a brain tumor.
He's afraid of dying in his sleep. He's making angels to watch over him.
Mrs. Crawford? Please come in. How often do you see him?
Twice a week at first. Now usually just once.
You're satisfied then?
Enough to keep seeing him.
Your intention is not to tell Jack?
I don't see what good it would do. Jack sees the world at its worst. Don't need him seeing me at mine. He already has too much to worry about.
He has room for one more worry. I feel like you're protecting him.
I am. I've had dinner at your home. You have a professional relationship with my husband. There's no conflict of interest, me being here?
It's unorthodox, but not unheard of. Given the nature of your problem, seeing someone who knows Jack removes some of the guesswork.
This all started as some misguided stab at maintaining my dignity.
Nothing undignified about this.
Not yet. But I have indignity to look forward to, don't I?
The only indignity I see is resentment. Why do you resent your husband?
I resent that Jack has too much to worry about. To worry about me.
But that's your choice, not his.
And maybe you should see us both for couples counseling.
I would recommend another psychiatrist for couples. I wouldn't want you to have the home couch advantage.
It's hard enough dealing with how I feel about all of this. Don't need to deal with how Jack feels about it.
There is no one and only spiritual center of the brain. Any idea of God comes from many different areas of the mind, working together in unison.
Maybe I was wrong. How do you profile someone who has an anomaly in their head changing the way they think?
A tumor can definitely affect brain function, even cause vivid hallucinations. However, what appears to be driving your angel maker to create heaven on earth is a simple issue of mortality.
Can't beat God, become him?
You said he was afraid.
He feels abandoned.
Ever feel abandoned, well?
Abandonment requires expectation.
What were your expectations of Jack Crawford and the FBI?
Jack hasn't abandoned me.
Not in any discernible way, perhaps in the way gods abandon their creations. You say he hasn't abandoned you, but at the same time you find yourself wandering around Wolf Trap in the middle of the night.
Wow. This should be interesting. Please, Doctor, proceed.
Jack gave you his word he would protect your headspace. Yet he leaves you to your mental devices.
You trying to alienate me from Jack Crawford?
I'm trying to help you to understand this angel maker you seek.
Well, help me understand how to catch him.
If he were a classic paranoid schizophrenic, you might be able to influence him to become visible.
I'd scare him out into the daylight.
Might even get him to hurt himself, if he hasn't already.
If he were self-destructive, he wouldn't be so careful.
Unless he's careful about being self-destructive. Making angels to pray over him you.